I hope wherever you are, that you are safe and warm. Here in Columbus, Ohio, we've just had rain all day. It's still raining, and it's going to be raining until about 4 in the morning when it will switch over to ice and snow. So I feel kind of bad because the roads are going to be awful in the morning. The road crews, ODOT is saying they can't even get out around Columbus because there's too much rain. It would wash away any of the pre-treatment that they would put down. So they're just all on standby waiting. But we'll get a few inches tomorrow, and hey, that's all right. We'll hunker down and stay inside and do some more crafts, right? Jenny Graber, you're funny. My hair, thank you for saying it looks beautiful, but I just took a shower a little while ago and I didn't feel like drying it, so it kind of does whatever. I just ran a brush through it before I came down. All right, let's get started. Oh, I want to scoot down a little bit here. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, another great week. Today is second day of the second month of the 2022nd year. Lots of twos. So somebody, you know, a real, I don't know, what's the word I'm trying to say? I don't know, whatever. Happy February 2nd. It's also Groundhog's Day, and it looks like we'll be having 6 more weeks of winter, if you believe that. I don't know what the statistics are on whether or not the groundhog gets it right or not. But anyways, I hope you are doing well and having a good week, and I welcome you to Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. The first thing I want to share with you is my latest class. The first email about it went out this afternoon. It is Daffodil Daydream. It's a class to go, and you're going to make 8 cards. This one's a fun fold. Woohoo! 8 cards, 2 each of the 4 designs here. Option 1 includes the Daffodil Daydream bundle, all of the supplies to make the 8 cards. What else? The PDF tutorial and shipping. And if you purchase option 1, you also get to choose a celebration item for free. Option 2 is just the card supplies to make the 8 cards and the shipping and PDF tutorial. And of course, the third option is always you can purchase just the PDF tutorial for $15. But all the cards use the Daffodil Daydream bundle. So 2 of the cards we're doing stamping and coloring of the daffodils, and on the other 2 cards we make the daffodils from our die cuts. So that's always lots of fun. It will be posted to my blog tomorrow as well, and I'll be putting it on my Facebook post and sending out more reminder emails. And the deadline to register for that class is Friday, February 11th. Please don't wait till the last day. So many people wait till the last day and forget, and then I'm kind of throws off my ordering a little bit. Because I try to order pretty quickly after registration closes to get a pretty quick turnaround, so you're not waiting a long time to receive your class kits. Tonight, I'm going to be working with the Island Vibes stamp set. I realize this is the only one, only product in the celebration brochure that I have not worked with yet. So we will be working with that. And of course, because it has no sentiments, I'm pulling in my favorite Special Moments stamp set. Donna, who's on here, just sent me a text message or an email message. She was looking for the stamp set that says, "Where would I be without a friend like you?" My favorite sentiment in the whole set. I love everything about this set. I'm all about sentiments, but that's one of my favorites. This is not available for purchase. This is something that you can get with a $100 order through the end of the month. So Donna, maybe we can talk later. The other thing is, if you're spending $100 to get this, that's quite a lot, but you can pick out some really good things. Bundles are a great choice because when items are bundled, you get 10% off each of the products. You also can use Paper Pumpkin prepaid subscriptions to count towards that $100. And I know a lot of people like to buy those prepaids right now during celebration because you do get the extra bonuses of celebration products. And just makes you get more for your money, helps you get more for your money. But Donna, we can talk more about that later. Right now I'm going to flip my camera around to my craft space and then we will get started on tonight's cards. While I'm doing that, would you please share this video and then we'll invite others to join in the creative fun with us tonight. I need to tack this down so it's not moving around on me. As I'm doing this, I do want to point out to you that I did change my Monday Facebook Lives to 2 p.m. And I did that because it works out better with some of the training that I'm doing on regarding social media and direct sales, that sort of thing. So tonight, as I said, we'd be working with Island Vibes. This is something you can get free with a $50 order. And we're also working with the wonderful Special Moments set free with a $100 order. And I can certainly help you get each of those if you're interested in that. I also want to point out that I'm going to be using the artfully composed 12 by 12 designer series paper. So I wanted you to see where this comes from. It's on page 33 of our mini catalog. And I'll just very quickly show you this designer series paper because you know how much I like designer series papers, right? Just gives you that island feel, sort of tropical. The colors are Just Jade, Old Olive, Pear Pizzazz, Evening Evergreen, Calypso Coral, Pale Papaya, and what am I leaving out? Crushed Curry. So as you can see, one side definitely has that tropical feel, and the other side has more just patterns that you could use for any occasion. More focused on just the colors rather than images. So tonight I'm also going to be using one of my very favorite products, the note card and envelope sets. These come in a package of 20. They're in our annual catalog and they come in both white and vanilla. And I believe they're around $7 a package. So very, very economical. 20 for $7. And that includes the scored note cards and the envelopes. And this size is mailable. All right, standard postage stamp in the US. So the finished card measures 3.5 by 5. That's the smallest size that the post office allows us to mail. The first thing I'm going to do is add my designer series paper. I've cut this 4 7/8 by 3 3/8. All of these dimensions will be on my blog when I post this later this week. And now I'm going to use, and there's just 3 stamps in this set, okay? But we're going to use all 3 of them. We're going to make 3 cards, and I'll give away all 3 cards as well tonight. So I'm going to ink this up with Old Olive. Just flip it over and make sure I have it inked well. You'll see some areas look darker and some looks lighter, just like the image on the sticker. And that's because this stamp is designed to give you lighter and darker shades in your stamped image. instead of it all being the same tone. Ooh, I like how that turned out. Can you see all those fine details in there? It really is pretty impressive. And then I'm going to stamp a sentiment with Calypso Coral. This one is, it says, I have to flip it over here, just a card to say you're amazing. Everybody loves getting cards and happy mail, right? But isn't it wonderful to get something just because? No special reason, just because. I know I love it. So this measures, let's see, I believe, I better double check, 2.5 by 4. Yes, 2.5 by 4 inches. And I'm going to mount it on Old Olive cardstock, which is 2 5/8 by 4 1/8. I want just a very small border on these cards. I just like the way it fits with this. And then I will pop this up on some dimensionals. I have to, okay, Julie is watching and she's saying, oh boy, she needs this stamp set. And Julie is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I find this interesting that she's saying this because when I first saw this, I looked at it and thought, I don't know what I will do with this. It's kind of plain to me. There's no sentiments, and you know how I feel about sentiments. I did like the pineapple, thinking to me that's the universal symbol of hospitality or welcome. But I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with it or if I would even like it. But I have to say, since playing with it just today, I'm actually enjoying it. So there's my first card. Now I think this needs a little something extra. So what I'm going to do, and I should have done this before I adhered that, but that's okay because I could have punched it right from the DSP. But I'll do this. Let me find a scrap, and I'm going to use the flower from our Strawberry Builder Punch. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this Designer Series paper and punch that flower. I'm going to keep this real close because we might want more of that later. I'm going to pop it up on a mini dimensional. I think just right over here, but it needs something in the center, doesn't it? How about, I'm thinking one of these in color jewels. This is actually the Pale Papaya jewel, but I think it works really well with this Calypso Coral color. So just a fun little island flower, we'll say. And again, I got that using the Strawberry Builder Punch. So it's always fun to find different ways to use our punches. Let me show you another one. Do you recognize this? Let me show you the punch. I use the small flower punch, punch 2, offset them, and put them together. So that's another option for adding a little island flower. And then let's do this one. Ooh, I love this one. This time I'm going to make a vertical card, and I've chosen to use the back side for more of a solid color look. It still has a pattern in it, but it gives the look of more of a solid color or a background. So that's why I chose that one. And now I'm going to stamp the pineapple, but I'm going to do this a little bit differently. There we go. My hand didn't want to move. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my crushed curry. I feel like my camera's a little high tonight, is it? I had a Zoom class Monday evening, so arranged it differently. I had Facebook Live yesterday for a business builder group I'm in, plus something for my team. So I've been moving this camera around a lot and the stand around a lot lately this week. So I'm using the brush end of my Stampin' Right marker, and I've got it on the side, and I just want to make sure that I cover the whole bottom portion of that pineapple really well. Then I'm going to do the same thing, coloring the top leafy part of the pineapple with my old olive marker. So this is one way that you can put more than one color on one stamp. And you do need Stampin' Right markers for this. It does not work well with the Stampin' blends. The reason is these are water-based and don't dry so quickly. The Stampin' blend markers are alcohol-based, so they dry almost instantly. So you really need the Stampin' Up or Stampin' Right markers for this. Now I'm taking my Evening Evergreen marker and I'm just adding a little color like that. Not a lot, I just want some highlights, I'll say, or low lights, dark lights. What do you call them? I don't know. If it were here, what would it be called? Low lights, I guess. But anyways, now some of this ink is already starting to dry, especially the first crushed curry ink that I've already put on. So I need to huff on that. Huff means you just breathe heavily on it. And then I'm going to stamp right onto my white cardstock and lift it up. Now, do you see how I got the various, the two shades of the green in there? So you still can see a lot of detail, but I outdid all that with my Stampin' Right markers. And then I'm going to add this to Evening Evergreen cardstock. And then I'm going to use dimensionals and pop this up onto a piece of crushed curry. So a lot of times we put all our layers flat together. Sometimes it's a fun little twist to add some dimensionals between the layers. I'm going to center this right in here. And then I can put this anywhere on my card front. Could be the middle. I could tilt it a little. I could move it up to the upper left corner, do whatever. But I'm not going to do anything just yet because I'm actually going to stamp and punch a sentiment. And I want you to see how I do this. Now I'm using Hello Sunshine for my sentiment. It comes from the same Special Moments stamp set. And what I want to do, because this label, this punch is actually quite large for that stamp, it's going to get lost on there. So what I want to do is do it just over to the side, and I'm only going to use part of that label. So let me stamp this. Give that a moment to dry. You do know that our inks take a few seconds to dry when you are stamping on white and vanilla. White and vanilla cardstock has a different texture than all of our other colors. So be sure you give it a few seconds to dry. And you can even kind of see if it's looking glossy or what. This one still does. But I'm going to go for it anyways and hope I don't smear it. So as you can see, I'm going to take that stamped sentiment and go pretty close to the edge of my punched piece. And now I can just decide where I want to put that. Do I want it up here? Do I want it under the yellow? I think I want it between. And to make sure I have enough room, I'm actually going to scoot this way over to the left side. So the left edge of the Crushed Curry cardstock lines up with the left edge of this Evening Evergreen Designer Series paper. Does anybody have the stamp or even the paper? The stamp set or the paper? Now this is a little long. So, well, hi Donna Hill. It has been so long. I'm glad you're here. I follow you on Facebook and I see pictures of your family. Everybody's growing up so fast. I see Shanda jumped on here. Okay. And I'm just going to use a little bit of adhesive and I'm going to tuck it under the top two layers, just like that. And then if I want to add some embellishments, maybe I'll pull in some of these. I don't know where the other ones went. I had some little ones. They're probably, oh, here they are. There are some small ones and a few of the larger size. I don't know where I want all of these. I think I want to actually put one on the pineapple. And then I will do this and that. So what do you think of that second card? Okay, you getting the island vibe? Wishing you were in, oh, I don't know, St. Thomas or the Virgin Islands or Maui, Honolulu, right? I know, especially if you're someplace where it's so cold right now. When I came down to my Stampin' studio, I could hear the wind howling out there. It hasn't been windy today, but it sure has rained an awful lot here. All right, and I have one more. And for this last one, I'm going to have you help me. Now we have one stamp that we did not use yet from that Island Vibe set, and that's this one, the plant. So what I have in mind is stamping the plant 3 times, okay? So I guess I'm thinking I will do all the plants the same color, but I would like to do all of the pots in a little bit different color. So let me scoot these over here. And I'm just pulling out some colors that coordinate with that Designer Series paper. So I've got Just Jade. And again, this is for just the pot, the clay pot part of the stamp. Just Jade, what is that? Mint Macaron, Calypso Coral, Crushed Curry, Pale Papaya, and I want this one for part of the plant. Okay, so I need somebody who is going to choose 3 colors for me because we're going to stamp this plant 3 times. Avis, thanks so much for sharing. Donna, thank you for sharing as well. And anybody else who has shared, thank you. I appreciate that so very much. I'm going to wait a few seconds and see who responds. And while I'm doing that, waiting for people to respond, Shanda's saying pale papaya. Donna is saying just jade. We got a couple just jades, another pale papaya. Oh, and calypso coral. Okay, so let's do these three. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the plant ends or the pot ends first, just because most of those colors are lighter than the others. And then I'm going to take soft suede and kind of go along the, oh, this is pretty dark, the stem of, I'm trying to see, is there another stem here? I guess kind of in here, like that. And then I'm going to go over it with, oh, let's do what we did before. The old olive. And it's okay if the colors on the plant kind of mix. That's quite all right. And then I'm just gonna sweep a little bit of the evening evergreen color in there. And I hope this is gonna turn out the way I want it to. Ooh, I like it. What do you think? All right, so for the next one, I am going to clean the stamp just because I don't want to mix the calypso coral color that we had on the pot to begin with. Next, I'm going to use my pale papaya. And then looks like my old olive is kind of drying up. It might be time for me to, I probably have a replacement somewhere here because I have more than one set. I'll have to look for that. And again, I'm going to go back in with just the tip of my evening evergreen marker. Pretty good. And you can see the plants are all, they're all the same. I'm using the same color, but because the evening evergreen is mixing with that old olive a little bit differently, they're all going to look a little bit different. Once again, clean my stamp off. And now I'm going to put just jade on the bottom here. I love the fine details in the stamps of this set. Sometimes I don't always notice that kind of thing until I'm actually using them. Has anybody sent a card this week? Anybody sent a card for any reason this week? I sent a few on Monday, and right now I have 5 more upstairs that need to go to the post office. Although I don't think I'll be going to the post office for a couple of days with this weather. I tried adding some of that evening evergreen with just the fine point. I'm not sure if that's gonna be enough for me. So I think I'll go back in and do a little more. Always remember to huff on it, because the inks that we started with are already drying, and you want all of these to be, all of the ink to be nice and moist when you're ready to adhere the stamp to your cardstock. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Oh, great, you're all sending cards. Wonderful. No matter the occasion, happy or sad, cards are so important. Wow, you guys are awesome. Awesome. It's so wonderful that we can really use our craft, our hobby, to bring joy, support, encouragement, sympathy, celebration, whatever it is, to the people around us. We make the world a better place just by sharing our craft. I love it. Okay, it's time to finish off our card. So I'm going to take a look at some of these designer series papers. I feel like the leafy, what do I want to say, foliage side is probably going to be a little more than I want. We've already, I think this would work great, but we've already used that one. What else do I have in here? Oh wait, where's my other sheets? It'll be easier to see this way. Ooh, okay. I have in mind what I think, but I'm going to ask for somebody's opinion. And I'm just going to number these from my left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I would like somebody to tell me which one to use. I should have left out 2 because we already used that one. So 1, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Becky, thanks so much for sharing this video. I appreciate that so, so much. Okay, Dora, so it looks like you and Becky are the first ones. Oh, Shanda, I love that one too. Yeah, it's a hard choice because really any of them would look great. So we can kind of get a picture of how this is going to look. Ooh, I love it. Any of them would work well. So if you have this designer series paper, if you have this stamp set or something similar to these two products, know that any of them would work really well. So I'm cutting my DSP 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. So I have a very small border going around the edge. I'll have that small border of white going around the DSP. And remember, these note cards and envelopes you can mail. 3.5 by 5 inch cards are the smallest size that you can mail with the U.S. Postal Service. And then, of course, you know what I'm going to say next, right? I need to what? I know you're going to say it. Pop these up with dimensionals, right? And I'm going to give you a little tip here when you're doing this. It can be hard to space them just right. So what I like to do is start with the ones on the ends. Okay. Yes, Shanda, you know me well. And I have a feeling lots of you use as many dimensionals as I do. Is that true? And what I'm doing is just making sure my top and bottom are evenly spaced, and then on the left and the right side I have basically the same spacing as well. Same amount of DSP showing. And then it's really easy for me to just center that middle piece. Okay, what do you think? Thanks for your help on that. What do you think? Do we need a sentiment? Diane says she uses lots of dimensionals, so does Shanda. Lisa, I'm happy you're here no matter what time you can jump on. And of course, you know that you'll always be able to go back and watch the replay. Plus, this will show up on my blog and YouTube channel later this week. Vicki says that one's her favorite. Love, love, love. Okay, do you think we need a sentiment on here, or should I leave it blank? One nice thing about the Special Moment stamp set is it has both large ones and very small ones. So you can often find one that will fit whatever you're using. Okay, Kay and Diane say no sentiment. Perhaps the person who receives this will maybe stamp a sentiment on the inside. Okay, I'll let that be that person's choice. So here are the 3 cards we made, all featuring the Island Vibes stamp set. We used the Special Moments for sentiments, and then we also pulled in the Designer Series paper. What did I call it? Artfully something. Artfully Composed. That's not the name I would have thought of for this. I don't know. I thought it would have been like an island, beachy kind of. Of course, I don't have a name to suggest, but Artfully Composed just doesn't, I don't know where that name came from. Anyways, and there's the back side. So really, you know, when I got this, I wasn't even sure I would use it. I wasn't even sure I liked it. It's just a little bam out there for me, a little bit much. I thought maybe if I ever go on a, you know, island getaway, this would be cool. But other than that, I really didn't know how to use it. But when I flipped it over, it seemed somewhat more appealing to me. But then when I got the idea to combine Island Vibe stamp set with this Designer Series paper, it seemed like an aha moment, like, oh, you know, when something comes to you, an idea comes to you and you're really excited. All right, who would like to receive one of these cards? Who would like to receive one of these cards? I see lots of hearts, so I think that tells me many people would. So what I'm having a hard time staying in the viewing frame for you tonight. Sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to type in the comments Island Vibes, and then I will choose a winner from the people that do that. I'm trying to think who won the last couple cards. Those are 2 that are addressed and upstairs ready to go. Jenny Graber was one. I think you won the one, I think when I colored on black. And then the sympathy card, I can't remember whose name was drawn for that. But anyways, those will be going out to the mail soon. Wow, thank you. So many people are on here tonight. You have just, I don't know that I've ever seen that many people on a Facebook Live at once. So thank you very much for being here and for sharing and inviting your other crafty friends to come to my site. I appreciate it so, so much. Oh, Kimberly, what did you say? Kimberly O'Brien reminds me of Islands in the Sea with Dolly and Kenny. Oh, yes. I love that song. And everybody knows it, right? Puts everybody in good mood. Okay, happy Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed tonight's live and picked up some great ideas on how to use the Island Vibe stamp set and the Artfully Composed Designer Series paper, and perhaps I have persuaded you that you need the Special Moments stamp set. It's just filled with awesome sentiments. So thank you for being here. I will pull 3 names, and these 3 cards will be sent out to the 3 lucky winners. And you can look for this video replay with supply list, photos, cutting dimensions, everything on my blog later this week. I'll see you on Friday at 2 p.m. Until then, happy stamping.